Something that genuinely bothers me about myself is how judgmental I am about others. And I feel like that comes in part with how much I've built myself up in terms of being fit and just bettering my life in general. Most places that I go, at least usually when I decide I want to go to like the mall or go shopping for my meal prep on Sundays, I tend to see a lot of really, what's the nicest way to say this, big people. Not to put them down or anything, but I understand that a lot of people have different eating habits or don't really have time to cook or live the life that I do in order to meal prep and things like that. But it kind of makes me feel sad seeing that their kids are also going to grow up and have the same eating habits as their parents. It shouldn't really bother me because it's not my life that they're living, but for their family, the cycle just gonna keep continuing over and over again. It's not necessarily me judging them in a way where they don't deserve better things in their life, but more so that they're going to their kids or I guess people around them are going to blame external factors that don't have anything to do with them wanting to be better in their lives. But I've been catching myself just like looking at different people's carts or noticing all the fast food people end up eating, and it just makes me feel really bad because I know that they'll feel a lot better eating more foods that are more satiating, you know. At the beginning of my fitness journey though, I did see it in more of a negative or bad way, where I was genuinely looking at bigger people with more of a disdain because I've realized what it took for someone to be like 300 pounds. But over time I've learned and realized that it's unfair for me to think that way because all of our lives aren't the same, you know. And something that actually helps a lot is I've been listening to a podcaster talk about not judging so much or not worrying about how other people are living their lives because it's, you know, because not everyone's life is the exact same. And she was saying how if I weren't to say what I'm thinking to this, I guess to that person about their weight or whatever, then I shouldn't be thinking. If I weren't if I weren't to if I weren't able to say to this person what I'm thinking in my head, then I shouldn't be thinking about it in the first place. But a huge example of judgment that does affect my life in more of a bad way, a good way, are just like are bad drivers. For example, I kind of expect people to end up cutting me off while driving or not using their blinkers or just road rage in general because that's what I'm used to in the state that I live in. And that's really my own judgment of people who live in Texas, because most people here, I guess it could be the same for other states, but I can really only go off of my own experience in saying that I've been cut off, tailgated, followed, pretty much all of the above. Anything you could think of that's happened while driving, it's probably happened, except for people hitting me. That I shouldn't have said that, but that's one thing that I'm very thankful that hasn't happened. But when I am driving, I do have this predetermined judgment of me knowing that someone is going to cut me off or for I guess a better example would be me being a bad driver, because I'm not perfect in any way. I've also not followed people, but I've definitely unintentionally cut someone off or done something that's made another person feel like they I've definitely been in a situation where I've been a horrible driver and someone's just stared at me while we were both at a red light. So I guess it does really go both ways. But back to my original thought, I am feeling like I'm doing a lot better in terms of not judging people as much. Mostly because of what I said before, where it's just really unfair for me to do so. I haven't lived the life that another person has lived, so it's not right for me to have like a predetermined notion of what their life is or how in terms of like eating habits or their mindset of how someone thinks, you know.